Well, right now, it's time for the co-main event of the evening. Mario Barrios, Ryan Karl. Here's Mo.
Thank you very much, Brian. Yes, the first of two title tilts coming your way tonight on pay-per-view. Both men coming off career-long layoffs. And the unbeaten Barrios making the first defense of his secondary 140-pound title he claimed in his last fight against Batir Akhmedov. Meanwhile, Karl, he has won 3 straight since his most recent loss, all via stoppage. And the first of those wins, a 5th-round TKO of Kevin Watts, avenged a 5th-round TKO Karl suffered against Watts. And there is the cowboy who fell in love with boxing when he was 11, had a reported 128 amateur fights, went into his most recent fight last November with an injured right hand. Ironically, Karl, who was dropped in the first round due to a right hand, won when his opponent, Bergman Aguilar, surrendered with a broken left hand. He says he's not the type of fighter to go in there and wait a bunch of rounds to come on. Everybody knows that he's here to fight. This man, Mario Barrios, who has been a practitioner of the sweet science since the age of 6. Mom and dad enrolled him and his older sister, Selena, in a boxing program. He started competing as soon as he turned 8. And he has the name Travel Mazion on his trunks tonight, dedicating this fight to the 24-year-old undefeated 154-pound prospect who was killed in a car accident in July. Barrios absolutely thrilled to have fans in attendance for this homecoming title defense.
Take a look at the numbers for this match. Now, normally, Barrios has a height and a reach advantage on his opponent. Here, it's pretty much the same. They're both big men, and let me tell you something else. Pretty good work in the corners. Virgil Hunter in the corner of Barrios, Ronnie Shields in the corner of Ryan Karl. A lot of good things will be said to these fighters.
Here's Jimmy Lennon Jr.
Ladies and gentlemen, from the Alamodome here in San Antonio, Texas, Premier Boxing Champions presents the first of our world title attractions, brought to you by Mayweather Promotions, TGB Promotions, GTD Promotions, Santa Cruz Boxing Club, and Showtime. Sponsored by Proper Number 12 Irish Whiskey, the finest, the tastiest, the smoothest liquid gold in the world. This bout is sanctioned by the WBA, the president Gilberto Jesus Mendoza, supervisor in attendance Julio Time. Introducing our 3 judges scoring from ringside. From Texas, Ruben Carrion. Also from Texas, Wilfredo Esperon. And from Puerto Rico, Jose Roberto Torres. Introducing our referee in charge of the action, introducing Luis Pabon. All right, fans, here we go with the co-main event of the evening. 12 rounds of boxing for the WBA Super Lightweight Championship of the World. Introducing to you first, the challenger, fighting out of the red corner. Entering the ring wearing black trunks with multicolored trim and hailing from Milano, Texas. He weighed in at the super lightweight limit of 140 pounds. His record 18 wins, 2 losses, with 12 wins coming by way of knockout. Tonight making his first attempt at a world title, here is the WBA number 9 ranked world contender, introducing Cowboy Ryan Karl. And his opponent across the ring is the defending world champion, fighting out of the blue corner, wearing purple and black trunks, hailing from and representing his home of San Antonio, Texas. He weighed in at 139.5 pounds. He is undefeated in his campaign to the ring with a record of 25 wins, no losses, 16 wins coming by way of knockout. Tonight, making the first defense of his recently earned title, here is the undefeated, reigning and defending WBA Super Lightweight Champion of the World, introducing Mario El Azteca Barrios. And our referee in charge now to give instructions, Luis Pabon.
With him.
Okay, guys, I give you instruction in the dressing room. Let's have a clean match, okay? Good luck. God bless you.
Referee Luis Pabon, 27th year as a pro. This is his 497th professional fight. It is for Mario Barrios' secondary 140-pound title. The bell in round one, and the belt holder Barrios in the purple with black and gray trim. The challenger Karl in the multicolored trunks.
These guys know each other very well, traveling the same amateur circuit, living near each other, and they both have a lot of respect for each other.
According to boxing historian Steve Farhood, this is only the second title fight in Texas between Texas-born fighters. The first being a 118-pound title tilt between Orlando Canizales and Sergio Reyes back in 1994. By the way, Karl's hometown of Milano, population 428. Barrios' hometown San Antonio, population 1.5 million.
A little bit bigger, just a smidge. Karl is a high-volume puncher, but he only lands at 25%, and that's one thing they've been working on, trying to make him more accurate.
Karl, the cowboy, he's always an exciting fighter, like you mentioned. Now he's always pressuring, throws a lot, he misses a lot, like you mentioned as well. But I like what I'm seeing right now. He's not too desperate. He's boxing. He's throwing his jab really well, and I'm liking this first round for Karl.
Yeah, usually Karl goes from 0 to 100 real quick and relishes the role. But yeah, knowing that this is his first title fight on pay-per-view, opportunities like this do not come all that often, and he's making it interesting already here in the first round.
Well, he's showing composure, which is important for him in this matchup, and landing some nice work on the inside as well.
Goes over the top with a right hand. Counter left downstairs by Barrios.
Both men rely on the jab. Barrios said Virgil Hunter has been talking to him about using that punch a lot in this fight.
Beautiful left hand to the body by Barrios. Under a minute remaining in the first frame. Karl coming forward. Perhaps smothering his offense a bit as a referee calls for a break.
See what Barrios is doing there at moments. He's letting Karl jump in because he jumps with that jab. So what Barrios is doing is pulling back and catching him either with that uppercut or right hand.
Yeah, Barrios known for being a good in-fighter because he stood only, catches Karl with that left hook at range. But Karl tasting the power of Barrios. Barrios grew to 140 where he is now, well, undefeated at this weight class. And an interesting opening round to this title tussle.
We'll take a look at the keys to victory for these two men, starting with Barrios.
Good job.
I think he doesn't want to bend in and give Karl a chance to land some of the short counter punches on the inside. Mentioned the jab. He and Virgil Hunter have decided he's got to land that punch a lot in this fight. And he has a terrific straight right hand, and that could be a huge weapon for him.
Shoot that right hand to the body.
For Karl, he sometimes throws uppercuts from way back. That's a no-no tonight. He'll get countered by Barrios if he does it. And he's got to keep his left hand up. And he was already hit with one big right hand in round number one. And for him, also the right hand is a big weapon. He wants to get that punch in. And he did land some good short rights in round one.
Round number 2, scheduled for 12 for Mario Barrios' secondary 140-pound tilt, and Karl immediately going on the attack. There, Barrios working the body again with his left hook.
So nice right by Karl. He's getting that punch, and he's getting it in from mid-range.
And another right hand by the challenger, Karl, from mid-range, as you so astutely put it, Alan. Karl always wants to make it a firefight, and referee Babone, though, admonishing Karl for rabbit punches.
And it was only one round where Cowboy Karl tried to box, tried to be in the outside. And now we see him where we always see him, which is in the inside. He tried. At least he tried. Did not work for him, as Barrios is the better fighter in the outside and has a better jab.
But I'll tell you what, Karl has found, the question was, could he get to a range? And he's gotten there where he could land some power punches.
Chopping right hand by Barrios. Karl just misses with the sweeping right. Karl walking down Barrios. Barrios exiting the ropes, attacking the body with the right hand.
Holding.
Karl's having himself a very nice round, too.
Really good round for Karl, and that's because Barrios is not throwing that jab. He's letting Karl walk in easily, and I'm surprised because, I mean, Virgil Hunter, he's really strict with that jab.
Counter left hook to the body by Barrios. Karl proving to be the Texas Tornado, known for his one trade, his work rate, and he's putting the work in.
He is following, the reason he's landing that right hand, Karl, is because he has established his jab pretty well.
Yes. And I see at times that Barrios, instead of wanting to be that jab boxer from the outside, he's trying to counterpunch at Karl. He's waiting for him to throw that right hand.
But look at the body shots landed, and that's really the calling card for Barrios, a complete shutout, putting in that investment early.
And there was that counter right hand. As soon as Karl walked in, he pulled back and he caught him with that right hand.
Counter right hand by Barrios. Another counter left hook by Barrios, and now beginning to time Ryan Karl.
You knew this fight had a chance to be a good stylistic matchup, and it is turning out to be that.
And again, the counter attack of Barrios coming on strong here in the last half of the second.
And they're both doing things right. Karl should be the pressure. He's trying to get inside, but Barrios at the same time needs to be the great boxer, pulling back.
Good job. Protect yourself up top. Everything okay? Yeah. Okay. Now listen, he's letting you drop 2 downstairs, okay? He's letting you drop 2 underneath at one time, okay? And he's dropping his hands down, so bring the second, under, over, short hook, short uppercut, okay? Okay. That's there. Now start backing him up some now, okay?
All right. Hey, I'm telling you, take your time, box it.
All right. You're jabbing too high. Jab him there. Keep jabbing him there, okay? All right? Come on, give me another drink. Keep the pressure on him, but behind, be smart. Use your face, okay?
All right, bet.
Here you go, Daryl.
We are bringing you some big audio dynamite from the corners, thanks to Ronnie Shields and Virgil Hunter, as round 3 begins here at the Alamodome.
2 of the very best trainers in the sport of boxing, and they're demonstrating why.
Yeah, Hunter, 2011 Trainer of the Year, career-long trainer of retired former 2-division champion Andre Ward, and of course, Ronnie Shields has worked with so many great fighters, including the Charlo brothers on their way
just
up.
A big win for Jamal Charlo that he just had. This is a 10th fight of Hunter working with Barrios.
And there's a lead left hand that drives Karl back. And Karl bouncing up and down. Not really finding stable footing. Misses wildly with that left. Almost put himself through the ropes.
Well, true to form, Karl is throwing more punches, 151 so far, but he's only landing at 19%. Barrios landing at 43% according to show stats, throwing 84 punches but landing 36. So, that's kind of true to form for these fighters.
Yeah, Karl wants to rope Barrios, doesn't want to rope the ropes as he looks to win his first title, and on the inside landing with the right and left, and then Barrios going back downstairs to the body. Some good stuff from both fighters on the inside.
Great check hook from Barrios from the distance. He jabs and then he hooks. Again, using the whole ring using that ring really well, moving. Whenever Karl takes Barrios to the ropes, he just pivots to the side, and he's out of there.
Floyd Money Mayweather in attendance tonight with Gervonta Davis, also known for his check hooks, and they cashed some big checks over the years.
Yeah, that's for sure. You know, when Karl doubles the jab, he's so effective. You know, a couple times he's done that. There it is. And look at how it set up that right hand. I love when they listen to me, Abner.
Right on cue always out. And it's all right. I mean, we're seeing that. When you jab once, you stay in the air, and Barrios is there to counterpunch. But if you double jab your way inside, you got the right hand, and you find yourself inside already.
Less than a minute remaining in the third round. A valiant effort from Ryan Karl, the 28-year-old, 18-2 with 12 knockouts, challenging the 25-year-old belt holder Barrios, 25-0 with 16 knockouts. And in fact, that victory in his last fight, it ended a career-high 8-fight KO streak when he defeated Alamodome in somewhat controversial fashion. Some people felt the decision could have gone the other way.
Yeah, you could make a strong case for that. Alamodome fought a very excellent fight. He's a great amateur fighter, and it was a tough win. Hey, this is a fun fight. I am thoroughly enjoying this, and I hope the fans are.
It's been a fun night so far. Halloween night at the Alamodome. The fans back in attendance, socially distanced, and really enjoying this tear up here in round number 3 as Karl continues to bring it. Let's go to our boxing historian, Steve Farhood.
Well, Mo, we are in the midst, of course, of a devastating pandemic. But if this photo, which is an amazing photo, shows you anything, it's that perhaps nothing ever happens for the first time. This photo is taken just after World War I in 1919, during the Spanish flu, which of course was a devastating pandemic. And it's in the Atlantic Ocean on a U.S. naval ship, the USS Saboni. And what's amazing about the photo is you look at the fans, if you look closely, a lot of them are wearing masks, watching this professional boxing match. Of course, social distancing, not so much.
All of us mask up here, Steve, socially distancing as we happy to have the fans back, but again, need to take the right measures. It is really uncertain, scary times, but we hope you're enjoying tonight's fights, because what's not to enjoy? 2 stoppages already, and the action heating up here in round number 4 in the first of our 2 title fights. Oh, nice left hook downstairs to the body. Barrios' money punch is that left hook to the body.
And there's that counter punching from Barrios. He waits for Karl to throw that jab, and there's that right hand. Or he waits for him to throw a right hand, and there's a body shot as well. So great counter punching from Barrios.
Trying to establish that pull counter. And Barrios trying to walk down Karl. Karl utilizing his lateral movement, walks right into a couple of left hooks.
Purple Hunter told Barrios, you have to push him back some in this round. That's precisely what he's done. Different attitude in this round from Barrios.
And I think he noticed that he hurt him with the body shot. That's why he went after him as well.
Little more ornery Mario Barrios here in round 4.
Ryan Karl, a true outdoorsman, he goes raccoon hunting. And guess what? I have been raccoon hunting down in Louisiana. It's an amazing thing. You shine lights up in the trees and you go after these raccoons, and we were talking about it in our Zoom discussion.
I would pay money to see Al Bernstein raccoon hunting.
Yeah, no,
that should be on pay-per-view.
That's our next pay-per-view show.
Karl hunting a different kind of game here in Mario Barrios, and again at close quarters, Karl misses with the right uppercut, left hook, and Barrios again, Abner, just really trying to time the counter.
Yeah, great timing from Barrios. I mean, Karl doing everything he can to get in the inside and work his own punches, but again, as Barrios every time churning Karl, and there's the beautiful
right uppercut by Mario Barrios. Under a minute remaining here in the 4th. Karl unable to cut off the ring, trying to walk down Barrios. Barrios back foot and again delivers the stiff jab. And that may have bothered Karl momentarily. Again, those body shots continue to be delivered by Barrios. Karl has been down twice in his career. Barrios has never been knocked down.
Great way to change up the punches from Barrios. You go upstairs, you check hook, and next thing you know, you're not expecting a body shot, and he lands a body shot.
Right hand by Barrios. We're through 4.
Mario Barrios had an excellent round, probably his best round of the fight, as he fends off that right hand from Karl. But he's going to land a nice right hand and over the lazy left of Ryan Karl. Later on in the round, working with that left downstairs, that one actually ended up being an uppercut, did that. But the left hook has been a big weapon for him now, and that's a triple hook when you get right down to it. And still trying to get that right hand in as well. And normally you don't try. He tries to throw the right uppercut from too far out, realizes his mistake, and says, okay, I'll just land a jab, right?
Yes, it is a combination of punches. He goes upstairs, downstairs, like I mentioned, he changes it up.
Yep, making those on-the-fly adjustments. Worthy of a man who holds a belt, as Mario Barrios and Ryan Karl renew hostilities here in the 5th round.
This is an important part of this fight for Ryan Karl. He needs to do something here to get himself back into this like he was in round 3. Barrios starting to show, kind of separate out a little bit from him.
Karl has Barrios on the ropes, trying to work the body before being separated by the referee.
There's Karl going downstairs. He has done very little body work in this fight.
Yeah, and he's below average in terms of the statistics, and you could see the wide punches, Abner.
Yeah, and great job from Barrios. When Karl finds himself in the inside, what Barrios does really well is that he goes really close into Karl's body, and which makes him miss those body shots that Al was mentioning.
And
he's not able to land.
Yeah, good punch placement by Barrios going downstairs while Karl looks to respond upstairs. Eats another jab from Barrios. There's a right hand by Karl.
When he gets in that little mid-range spot, he can land those right hands. And again, there, Karl uses the jab to pave his way in.
Barrios
and that's
up on the
impressive.
Right. And Barrios has very much targeted the body. And you make those early dividends hoping to reap the rewards the deeper this fight goes.
Landing a little bit more in this round, Karl the Cowboy. But if he were to close the ring a little bit, I think he would be more effective. He hasn't done that yet. He's just following Barrios all over the ring.
Karl's corner calling for the right hand. Instead, it's Barrios going to the body and then a left uppercut as they break apart. And Karl goes over top with a right hand. Less than a minute left here in the 5th. Left hook lands, lead left hook for Barrios.
I think one of the big headlines of this fight has been the body work of Barrios, landing 30 body punches so far to only several by Karl, according to show stats, and that's been a big difference.
And there's now 30 seconds left here in the 5th round. Karl leads with the jab, but gets countered again by Barrios. And Abner, the corner, calling for Karl's right hand. Easier said than done as he's now get picked off with that left hook. What's one path to potential success for that right?
Double jab. You got to double jab your way in, and he hasn't done it in a while.
Time. Good job. His punches look like they're getting weaker, are they?
Yeah.
Okay. When you have him at a disadvantage when he's on the rope, start closing the distance on him now, okay? Start putting the punches together. Now listen, quit turning your head away when you're on the inside, okay? Where you lose the sight of it because he's trying to come behind over the top, okay?
Yeah.
So quit turning the head away from him, okay? You got me?
Yeah.
Okay, stay focused now.
Yeah.
Now I need.
I'm looking for it, okay? I need that right uppercut now, all right? Come on now.
Yeah.
Now look, you got to keep the pressure on this guy now. We got to put more pressure on him, okay? Make him fight now. Here, Darryl, take this.
No pressure, no diamonds, no title for Ryan Karl. He comes out on the attack to begin round number 6, and now it's Barrios upstairs with a jab, and Barrios putting together some thudding punches downstairs and upstairs on Karl.
And you know, I said in the keys, don't throw uppercuts to Karl because sometimes he throws some.
Oh, and that right hand dropped him to a knee.
3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Are you all right? You want to continue?
Yeah, for sure. 100%.
Ryan Karl down for the 3rd time in his career here in round number 6. Barrios putting the pedal to the metal. Karl doing a veteran move, tying up the champion, trying to buy himself some time.
Ronnie Shields was yelling from the corner for him to hold, and he did that.
He did just that.
But how long can that last?
Yeah, how long can he hold back the Barrios barrage? Gutsy warrior, Ryan Karl.
Oh, yeah. And he's still occasionally getting those little short right hands in, and they want...
Oh, that right hand!
Yeah.
But Barrios took it, Abner, and just didn't even flinch. Oh, and there's a cut. A bad cut.
Clash of heads.
And the referee calls it a clash of heads, so now the Crimson Mask and Barrios bloodying up Ryan Karl. What would Halloween night be without a little plasma? And Ryan Karl, though, can't seem to find his balance, but keeps coming forward.
Oh. He's landing
another
some
right hand, yes!
What a bad break for Karl that clash happened right there, and he got cut because he was gaining some momentum in this fight.
Yeah, literally a blood and guts battle so far. Boy.
He can go ahead for a little bit.
Referee going to allow Ryan Karl to continue. A minute left here in the 6th stanza. Barrios, Karl still trying to counter, but now dropping down. He's backed up along the ropes, valiantly trying to fight back, eats an uppercut. Barrios trying to tee off on Karl, but Karl's like an extra from The Walking Dead, falling face first, and the referee waves off the fight. What a gutsy battle by Ryan Karl, but the title remains around the waist of the unbeaten Mario Barrios.
Everybody, puro San Antonio.
You did a good job. That's the way to fight it, man. You take your time. No, I got it back. I got it.
How about you? Good. How about your hand? Good. Good. The gloves and the gloves.
You want to go back with him?
Yeah, I think we gotta go back.
Yeah. All right.
I'm gonna go back.
What a bad break for Ryan Karl, who who at that moment was fighting his way back into the fight, and the clash of heads created that awful cut, and that was simply more than he could cope with. And of course, as he leaves this ring, they'll be dealing with that medically as soon as they can. But it was just a very bad circumstance for him. And the intriguing thing is that was becoming a very exciting round because Karl found the home for a couple of really good right hands, and it's just unfortunate for him that that clash of heads created such problems for him. And then Barrios, of course, landed some big punches. Hey, he's a smiling warrior. And what a brave effort by him.
What a heart. I mean, even you mentioned it, even when he was taking some shots, he was giving those right hands right back. He was not giving up at all. Cowboy's so tough.
Yeah, Cowboy Country's grown by a few new followers, I'm sure. Valiant effort by Ryan Karl. I'm sure all 428 residents of Milano are proud of Ryan Karl, despite the fact that he does not take the title back with him.
We'll take a look at how Mario Barrios created the knockdown. It was a beautiful straight right hand over the kind of a left hand that was languishing out there by Karl. And that, Karl was in trouble from that. There's no question about that.
And look how he caught that jab and then he countered with that right hand. That's definitely a Virgil Hunter of move.
But then Ryan Karl was able to make some things happen to fight, to try and keep himself in this fight. He takes the right hand by Barrios, and that hurt him for sure. That's again, he's down for that right hand, and that's where Ryan Karl was in some problems, obviously. And he would have to fight his way through that, and then he would get to the point where he would do some good things on his own. Now, we're going to see the short right hands there. Well, there's the clash of heads. That right after Karl had done what he just did there, which is throw a really good right hand, the gruesome cut from the clash of heads. And it came right after Karl had done some good things in this match, but that clash of heads was, created just an atrocious cut. And then ultimately, this left hook would send him down. Left hand's landing there, and he's still fighting back, and then that left hook is the one that actually sent him down to the canvas. And this fight was called at that point. That was as much due to the clash of heads, I think, as the punches from Barrios. But make no mistake, Barrios certainly did some good work there, and he's a happy man. He keeps that secondary title and looks ahead in the 140-pound division. Let's go up to Jimmy Lennon Jr.
Ladies and gentlemen, we have the time of 2 minutes, 23 seconds in round number 6. He is the winner by way of knockout. He is still undefeated and still the WBA Super Lightweight Champion of the World, Mario El Azteca Barrios.
So 25-year-old Mario Barrios pushes his record to 26-0, gets his 17th stoppage as a professional fighter, and did so in fine fashion in a fight that was competitive in spots because of Ryan Karl's toughness and because Karl was able to put some good things together offensively in that fight, and in a way fought a level above where he was, Abner, but just couldn't quite get to the
Can
final.
I say something? Mario Barrios, the way he finished that fight, it was just fantastic. I mean, he fought from a distance. The way he just closed it, the way he kept at a distance and landed those shots.
And we look at the numbers, and you see the 51% of the power shots landed by Barrios. He is a more accurate puncher in general, as we said, than Karl. And really it was true to form. Karl landing about 18% of his punches, Barrios at 43, which is very impressive. So that's kind of where their form is, and that is what Barrios did in this fight. And again, Ryan Karl couldn't quite match the technique and the skill of Mario Barrios. We'll take a peek back at the knockdown that started all the problems for Ryan Karl, and it'll come from this right hand that over the very low left of Karl. And that was where things started to go south for Ryan Karl. Even though he had a mini comeback after that, the clash of heads would further exacerbate his problems in this fight and lead ultimately to the stoppage of this. And then we'll look at the end of this match when already there had been that terrible gash from the clash of heads. Barrios landing an uppercut on the inside and ultimately would get in a couple of left hooks here. The uppercut and then another left hook would do him in, Ebner.
That uppercut kind of reminded me of the fight when Juan Manuel Marquez dropped Juan Baby Bull Diaz. He stepped to his side in beautiful uppercuts.
Good analogy. And so for Ryan Karl, that would spell the end of this matchup, and he won a lot of hearts here tonight with his courage and his grit, that's for sure. And
never in a boring fight.